I'm David Volk, a voice of the resistance, albeit a strange and repentant one. Today's post, my biggest challenge ever, I'm trying not to snark. Man, this is so difficult. There's a moment in a famous Little Rascals film when the stars are considering skipping school to go fishing, and Stymie, who the hell names a kid Stymie anyways? But Stymie says, "Get thee behind me, Satan, and don't push." I'm Jewish and don't really believe in the devil, but I'm finally beginning to understand the sentiment. It is now the start of the Jewish high holidays. I'm not only trying to be good and ask for forgiveness for all of my trespasses from the previous year, I'm trying not to do or say anything else I might regret. But man, this is challenging. There are so many things right now that richly deserve a dose of snark. Here's just a small example. It's just a small sample. The new First Amendment. Donald Trump claims it's illegal for television broadcasters to criticize him. I mean, no, he didn't say that journalists should be jailed for negative reporting or anything yet. But he did criticize broadcast journalists because, as he said, get ready for this, it doesn't make much sense, but here you go, they'll take a great story and make it bad. See, I think that's really illegal personally. You can't have a free airwave. You're getting free airwaves from the United States government, and you can't have that and say somebody who just won an election, and I had to go through this during the election. I think it's a miracle that I can win when 97% of the stories on the networks are bad. I could say, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen, but I won't. I could spend paragraph upon paragraph on his intelligence, his abilities as a leader, and his morality, but I won't, because that would be wrong and not very constructive. What I will do, however, is call for a national day of criticism coming soon. The First Amendment guarantees our right to free speech, and I believe that there should be one day where we all exercise it at the same time by criticizing our glorious leader, even if it's only to say, "You're ugly and your mother dresses you funny." Number 2, St. Charlie of Kirk. I don't know about you, but I'm really upset about the deification of Charlie Kirk. Yes, it is unbelievably tragic that he was shot and killed, leaving his family without a father. My father died when I was 13, and my family hasn't been the same since. He was a good man, and I've tried to lead my life following his examples and the things he's taught me. My father, not Charlie Kirk. I could tell you what I thought of Kirk when he was alive and how I feel about the people who are trying to turn him into a martyr now, but that wouldn't be very charitable. Instead, I'll just remind you of some of the things he said when he was alive. Upon learning that Kansas City Chiefs football player Travis Kelce and singer Taylor Swift were engaged, he said, "Reject feminism. Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge." I don't know. It's worth pointing out that Travis is getting paid millions of dollars over a short career of a few seasons, while Taylor is making billions each time she goes out on tour. Kirk was also a strong supporter of gun ownership. As he put it, "I think it's worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational." He also liked to talk about racial equality. If we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racists. Now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to be taken somewhat seriously. I don't think I said anything bad about him there. I just repeated his own words. Is that wrong? The other Kennedy, number 3. After doctors have spent years debunking a connection between Tylenol and autism, U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services just released a report claiming that the pain reliever was responsible for the condition. I could spend a lot of time talking about how Kennedy isn't a doctor and talk about some of the things he got into during his youth, but I won't. I will point out that we never gave one of our relatives Tylenol when they were little, but they were still diagnosed with autism anyway. If I have offended you in any way, I am sorry, and I hope you can forgive me. This is hard. I do not like it. I hope I can make it through the holidays without exploding. Lashana Tova, for a good year. I've been David Volk, a voice of the resistance, albeit a strange and semi-repentant one.